Alright guys, this is how the test rig is going to be set up. The timer is going to be here. The gun's going to be here. And it is setting very, very close. I can just barely put my finger between here and here. So we're going to be able to get very close to this wire. Should be entertaining. In the lineup today, we're going to have Stinger alt gauge. We're going to have Sky High Car Audio alt gauge. We're going to have New Concepts Colossus alt gauge. We've got Tempco welding wire alt gauge. We've got Sundown alt gauge. We've got GP Car Audio America Series alt gauge. We've got Windy Nation welding wire. This welding wire. Can't think of the name of it right now. We got that. And we've got GP Diamond Edition alt gauge. All of these are going to get tested. We've got all the major brands, including Stinger, New Concept, Sky High, GP, everybody. We've got them all covered. And we've got 3 different pieces of welding wire. This should be an extremely good lineup. For testing today, we're going to be doing 572 degrees for 5 minutes on all the audio wire. On the welding wire, we're going to make it hotter and longer. So just a heads up. We're also going to be using a piece of plastic to try to damage the wire for all the car audio wire. And then when we switch to welding wire, we're going to also add something far more brutal to damage it while it's extremely hot. It should be a good test. All right, guys, we got GP Diamond Edition for number 1. All right, we're stopping at 5 minutes. 572 degrees. And we're going to push this plastic deal in here. Just pushing hard. We got no penetration there. And the same thing on each wire. Push hard. We definitely got it tore that time. The jacket tore open. 2 presses. That's what we ended up with. Next wire is going to be the GP America Series. Stop. I need a better tool. That's what we got. Let's do the mash test. It went through on the first push. Okay, for the next victim, we got the Sundown alt gauge.
Yo, I'm riding down the street, got the bass on blast. Car audio enthusiasts, the first never last. Subwoofer thumping, got the neighborhood jumping. In the world of sound, I'm always pumping. Car audio enthusiasts, that's my game. Even frequencies, no two sound the same. From the highs to the lows, mid-range in between. My car sound system is a music machine.
This one got smoky. Really smoky. Also notice all the dots on it. Let's give it the squish. That did not penetrate. Not that I could tell. All right, I'm impressed. It did not penetrate either time. And I pressed hard both times. Interesting. All right, guys, on to the Sky High Car Audio 1-off game. This smoky rascal out of here. Very smoky. Let's give it the squish. Give it a squish over here. I'm going to squish this one more time. Okay. Nope, it did tear. I was going to give it a pass. I couldn't see it, but it tore. For our next victim, we're doing new concepts. Colossus. Off gauge.
Big mud tires are growling on the asphalt. American flag flying high in the air. Big subwoofers are kicking like a mule deer. People are showing up from everywhere. Chrome is shined up, flashing in the street lights. Pipes are roaring as I'm shifting gears. Bass notes drop in like a rolling earthquake. Bumper sticker says, roll out, no fear. Ain't got no worries, can't feel no pain. The lightning striking, but there ain't no rain. The bass is slamming like
Time for
a
the smash test.
slamming your body and kicking your ass.
Definite failure. Went through that goo. Then it went through back here. Alright guys, for the last car audio wire, we have Stinger. Kind of stuck to it there a little bit. Smasher. No. Well, I believe the Stinger held on to it. It's all smoky and black, but I didn't make a pass through it. As soft and squishy as it is, it doesn't punch through. The next piece is going to be Flex Whip. Made in USA. Welding wire.
On line down the street, got the bass on blast. Car audio enthusiasts, I'm first, never last. Subwoofer stomping, got the neighborhood jumping. In the world of sound, I'm always pumping. Car audio enthusiasts, that's my game. Tweaking frequencies, no two sound the same. From the highs to the lows, mid-range in between. My car sound system is a music machine. Got the latest deck with the touchscreen display, Bluetooth, aux, and USB. Play it anyway. Sounds so crisp, it's like you're there. Close your eyes, feel the music in the air. Car audio enthusiasts in the
That's close
zone.
enough.
Feel the rhythm,
I'll let it
feel the
run up
tone,
to 10
sound
minutes.
quality. That's my quest in the world of car audio. I'm the best.
Now let's pull it out of here and give it the squish test. There's the squisher. You see, y'all know I'm not bullshitting you. That's after a squish and a salt. Yeah, baby. Okay, this here is the Windy Nation. We're only going to do it for 5 minutes because it doesn't matter if I did it for an hour. It's going to be the same score regardless. All right, here we go.
I'm bringing deals and Masonic reviews, keeping up to date with car audio news. Make your system sound like a concert, saving you money by doing your own work.
Test durability. Okay. All right, guys, let's test this one right here. We're going to use the smasher first. This is the Windy Nation, and the smasher doesn't do anything to it. So let's give it this. Let's give it this pair of cutters. 3 whacks. Still perfectly sealed. All right, guys. For the last experiment, we're going to be doing Tempco alt gauge wire. And although I know the other wire, the other welding cable, can handle what I'm going to do, I'm going to give this Tempco the hardest run of all of them. We're going to put it on the high heat setting, which is 1,000 degrees instead of 572, and we're going to give it a full 10 minutes. And then we're going to abuse the crap out of it, see if we can get it to expose its copper goodies. Alright guys, let's get this bad boy out of here. 10 minutes at 1,000 degrees. We're not even going to bother with the plastic thing, because it ain't going to do anything. Let's get this. We did manage to bust it with 3 hits, and it split open. But that was 10 minutes at 1,000 degrees cooking before it did that. So first we had the GP America Series. The plastic managed to punch through it. Then we had the GP Diamond Edition. It also ripped. These were 570 degrees for 5 minutes, 570 degrees for 5 minutes. Then we had, so dropped it. So then we had the Sundown. The Sundown actually survived the smash. It did not expose copper, but it's a worse for wear. Also, the Sundown had this unusual thing going on where I got these black spots on it very quickly. I think maybe that's something to help indicate that this thing's getting hot somewhere, because they were very obvious in the video. That might be an interesting side effect of the processing, how they make this, or it may be intentional. Then we got the Sky High. The Sky High broke through to expose copper with the plastic. It also smoked a lot, and it blackened and turned into this hard plasticky powdery stuff. Something that this guy and this guy did not do. And this is the new concepts. The new concepts behave similarly to the Sky High. Not only is it as flexible as the Sky High, but it also behaved very similarly. And that it had this black stuff. And it did expose copper whenever it was smashed with the plastic thing. I got a feeling these two are the exact same chemistry. Then we got the Stinger. The Stinger wire, I don't think exposed copper. Whenever I smashed it, it managed to hold on to itself. Again, all of these first 6, were at 572 degrees for 5 minutes. Then we took this guy 572 degrees for 10 minutes. We smashed it with the plastic, and then we hit it with those wire cutters multiple times, and it is still totally fine. No copper exposed. There's also no shrinkage. Then we had the Windy Nation. It took the same amount of torture, but for only 5 minutes. It took the same torture as these guys for the same amount of time, the same temperature, except I took my cutters and banged on this 3 different times. This guy took 1,000 degrees for 10 minutes and got beat on with the cutters, and it just split wide open. But prior to being beat on the 3rd lick, it was still solid. It wasn't cutting. It finally ruptured after 3 hits. Now, car audio wire isn't all about the jacket. In fact, for most people, it's more important than what's inside the wire. Let's compare the Tempco to the America Series GP. They look about the same to me. Let's compare it to the Diamond Edition from GP. Yep, it's about the same. Let's just skip over the Sundown. Well, actually, we'll grab the Sundown. The Sundown's actually finer. It's a little smaller wire. This is, of course, the Tempco wire. We'll get the Sky High. It feels a little bit finer than the Tempco wire. And new concepts. Let's see if I can get that to spread out a little bit. Not really. Yeah, it's just a little bit finer than the Tempco wire. So, from what I can see here, the Windy Nation has actually a very interesting wire. It's a little bit thicker than the Tempco wire, I think. This stuff here is a nice fine wire from the Flex Whip. It's a really fine wire and a ridiculously tough casing. Very tough casing. Pretty copper wire. So let's talk about these results. Now, you guys saw all the tests. The observations, some of them smoked, some of them didn't. I'm going to say that smoking wire could actually be a positive thing, because if the wire's smoking, you may not be aware that it's getting really hot. That smoke could actually give you a heads up. So there's that. A couple of the audio wires handled the rough treatment after being superheated quite well. None of the car audio wire handled the extreme heat as well as any of the welding cable. The one thing I'll point out, and that is, this is the flex whip welding cable. All right. If your argument is that welding cable is too stiff and car audio wire is much easier to work with, I don't know how well that's going to stand up in court, man. This flex whip is extremely flexible. It's not as flexible as New Concepts wire. New Concepts and Sky High both by far had the most flexible wire of this entire group. However, they can't handle the heat. Neither of them handled the heat. This stuff takes all the heat, gives you all the flexibility that you could want, and takes the abuse. If I buy another piece of car audio wire, I'm always buying Flex Whip. Flex Whip is my brand of choice from this point on. I don't care what arguments you have for the car audio wire of your choice. From my test, none of that holds water. Flex Whip, baby. I wish I could get them to sponsor me because this is really good stuff. So listen, if you guys aren't already subscribers, hit that subscribe button. I try to bring real world reviews, real world testing, and real world poor man budget setups. That's what we do on this channel. So your subscription means everything to me. Like 70-something% of my viewers are not subscribed. I need to hit that 100,000 mark. I'm making a living doing this. And ain't nobody paying for this stuff that I'm testing. This is all on me. Well, I'm picking up some bits and pieces from Carmel Car Audio because they guys are always looking out for me. Just a little scrap and throwaway stuff, which makes perfect testing material. Anyway, guys, I appreciate the views and I appreciate the comments down below. Take it easy and peace.